Shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders, a great millstone for teaching this truth according to the Bible. Sincere shalom to all the fellow laborers who push this truth and believe this truth in the last days here in Babylon the Great as we are called to do so. Big controversy going on over the weekend, okay? Most of the brothers have already heard, but apparently Donald John Trump, Nero 47, all right, he tried to access, all right, allegedly, we'll say that allegedly he tried to access these nuclear codes, man, and that can only mean one thing. You only access the nuclear codes if you're going to use them, okay? So the claim is that Donald Trump tried to nuke Iran over the weekend, okay, and he was stopped by one of his generals. Now, whether it's true or not, the point is that it's not time for nuclear bombs to be used, even though we do teach, yes, they will eventually lead to nuclear bombs. All right. The Heavenly Father is working with Donald Trump, on the left hand side to bring down America systematically. And we are going to reach that point where nuclear bombs are going to be used. OK, but there are prophecies that need to take place first. It's not time yet. OK, it's not time for the grand finale. Right. But like Elder Apostle Tar says, everything, once the MOTB comes out, everything can move pretty fast. It doesn't take that much time for a conflict to escalate past the point of no return. OK, nuclear bombs will be used. OK, and the main two countries that are going to be involved with that is the United States and Russia. OK, Iran, of course, will be involved. China will be involved. North Korea will be involved. NATO will be involved. I think there's only 2 countries or 3 countries in NATO that have nuclear bombs. I think it's France and Great Britain, and then the United States is the other one. But, we still got to get to this prophecy of the MOTB. All right. Now, I just wanted to pull up a few scriptures on, nuclear bombs. All right. Because I have a whole list of them. OK, it's been a minute since I went through my list. OK, of course, we can just go down this list and talk about how this is going to play out in the last days, because, with a madman at the wheel like Donald Trump, who we appreciate, we enjoy watching Donald Trump bring down America and ruin the credibility of the American military. OK, Deuteronomy chapter 32 and 42 says, I will make mine arrows drunk with blood. OK, what are those arrows? Those arrows are talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBM for short. OK, these are the arrows of the Lord. These are the Lord's weapons. And he allowed Esau to access the technology. All right, to be able to build these things. All right. And they have been building them. OK, they have massive stockpiles. When they always go and tell you that, oh, this country has this many, this country has this many. That's a lie. The countries that have nuclear bombs, they have a lot more than what's officially reported. OK, so it says, I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenges upon my enemy. OK, this is the ultimate revenge upon, well, first of all, Esau, Edom. OK, read about that in Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, but also on the other nations who mistreated the Lord's people. OK, it said Isaiah 54 and 16. OK, the creation of the nuclear bombs. OK, by Oppenheimer, that scientist. It was a team of scientists, but I forget what that guy's name was. It Robert Oppenheimer? OK, let's look that up, actually. Scientists who created the atomic bomb. That was, J. Robert Oppenheimer. And there was a movie I watched about him. OK, there was a movie I watched about him, and he, he had a team of people that were working with him during World War II. And they ended up creating it was like an arms race, really, between them and Germany to create an atomic bomb. And the Lord allowed this devil right here to access that type of technology. Okay, so let's keep going. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So the waster to destroy is that atomic bomb. Okay, the smith, right? What is a smith? A blacksmith is someone that creates weapons, okay, with iron and fire and uses an anvil and a hammer. Okay, well, this weapon is the bomb, and the smith is Oppenheimer. Okay, Isaiah 66:15, of course, for behold, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Okay, this is the invasion. This is the return of the Lord. And we know that immediately after the return of the Lord happens, the nuclear bombs are going to be launched. They're going to be put into the skies, into the firmament, and they're going to come back down, and they're going to destroy, okay, the land of Edom. Okay, Isaiah 34 talks about that. Okay, Isaiah 66. Well, slack it. Let me finish Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. That fire is those bombs, okay? Those bombs. You're already seeing missiles flying, but you ain't seeing nothing yet until the main missiles fly. Okay, let's watch this video. A little bit of just the beginning of this video, okay? So we can get the gist of what happened. All right.
I was genuinely shocked at how beautiful this
Slacky
was
for the
in
commercials,
person.
y'all.
When I saw the sparkle in real life,
We have some big news. Donald Trump tried using nuclear weapons, according to one publication, and was only stopped by one military professional. Tucker Carlson is in the news. He is apologizing. Okay. And going back to nukes. So, U.S. President Donald Trump was denied access to his nation's nuclear codes by high-ranking U.S. military officials.
By the way, fair use is for educational purposes only.
According to explosive reports. Retired CIA analyst Larry Johnson claimed on the popular YouTube program Judging Freedom that during an emergency meeting on Saturday, Trump attempted to access the nuclear codes. Quote, one report coming out of the meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no. He invoked his privilege as the head of the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow-up. There's some very bizarre things going on in D.C. It comes amid growing concern about the president's erratic behavior. Of course, just days ago, Trump made a disturbing sexual comment on stage that stunned his audience into silence. Here's that.
So I want to just thank everybody very much, and I'm asked to take a few questions. And unlike other politicians, they would like the questions screened. I don't ask for screening of the questions. You can ask me anything you want. You can talk sex.
And this is the guy, right? This is the guy that has access to the codes, man. He was the one asking for the codes. So America is done, man. This is just a slow dismantling of the credibility, the image, the power, and the authority of America. Okay, and it's clear.
You can do whatever the hell you want. I'm here for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that guy to have the nuclear codes either. Now, the nuclear code allegations have not been verified, and it remains unclear what purpose the nuclear codes alone would serve if accessed. However, this follows reports that Trump, which we talked about earlier today, was excluded from the Situation Room by military advisors during a crucial Iran rescue mission. Okay, so there's a couple things about this that I'm like, one, okay, looks like the system is working, I guess. Like, I suppose that's the silver lining, that Donald Trump was like, hey, let's check out the nukes. What's the code? And then a top military official was like, no. So that's good. That's happening. What's not so great, as I'm sure you're going to feel the same, is that it's not great the President of the United States is inquiring about nukes. That's not a good situation for us to be in. And one that is completely...
No, it's not a good situation for you to be in, but you're in that situation, all right? Jeremiah 50:9 says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And NATO is going to turn against the United States. That north country, the assembly of nations, eventually all these nations, which already it's happening, right? you see these nations that are against the United States because the United States is causing a lot of economic pain in the world. Okay, with this whole Strait of Hormuz situation, the United States has caused many nations to be in a strait, okay, to be in a difficult position. And it's going to escalate to the point where they're just saying, hey, look, United States is the problem. We have one common enemy. Let's just take her out. All right. And they're all going to shoot their missiles, whoever has them. And I do believe that there's going to be more countries, more nations that are going to have nuclear bombs by the end of this. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Okay, but they're not going to miss their mark. That's why it says none shall return in vain. Okay, Jeremiah 15:14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. That bow would be the missile silos. Okay, shoot at her, spare no arrows. Spare no arrows means they're going to empty them out. They're going to hit everything they got, right? Everything they got in storage, even the undeclared, the unreported missiles are going to be shot as well. If they can reach the United States, it's going to be shot. And they're going to load them up with the strongest nuclear tipped warheads, okay? And one missile can carry multiple warheads, okay? And depending on the nation, up to even 61. China just, in their last military parade, they revealed one of their missiles, one of their biggest missiles, can carry 61 nuclear warheads, okay? 61 nuclear warheads. I think it was 60 nuclear warheads and one hydrogen bomb. Okay, that's no joke right there. And that's what it's talking about when it says that the Lord is going to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. That's what it's talking about. All right. And everybody in America, that if you're in the land of America in that time and you don't get beamed up on a chair, which only the elect are going to be going up. All right, the elect of the nation of Israel. If you're not an Israelite and you're not of the elect, you ain't going to get saved. And if you're in the land of America, when this happens, listen, you're going to get burned up in the lake of fire. That's what the lake of fire is. All right.
Unwarranted, by the way. There's absolutely no reason why the President of the United States should be asking about it. Like, we are not in any imminent threat or danger. There's no reason why those need to be used. And this is just another proof point in the ongoing examples that Donald Trump is not of sound mind. He absolutely has no business doing this job. That's why, like, when there are reports that Donald Trump is away golfing during the weekend, I don't even talk about it. I don't even get mad about it.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's a madman, all right? But we enjoy the fact that he is. We like Donald Trump, all right? He's doing the Lord's work, man. All right, let's get that in Isaiah 19. Isaiah 19:4 says, and the Egyptians, which is you, America, this is Egypt, all right? This is spiritual Egypt. I will give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord. It says, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and the water shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. So not only is this is what I was talking about. There's going to be more prophecies to come before the nuclear bombs come. The waters and the rivers drying up means the resources of life. Okay, this economy is going to be dried up per se. Okay, people are already struggling, and it's just going to get worse. Okay, you're going to see the collapse of America inwardly. The societal collapse of America will happen before the nukes get launched. All right, so
about it, because I'm like, good, another day where he's being distracted. If he's distracted, it's a day where truly we're a bit safer, and we kind of have to keep banking on these days. And thank you to the military professional who allegedly told Trump no about nuclear. It's crazy that that's where we are right now.
Save the morning with the new Smoky Maple Bacon on your breakfast sandwiches. Only at your neighborhood Tim's.
Here's what your body goes through when you start taking Nature's Ozempic for 4 weeks. Minutes after your first pouch, you'll feel...
As one person writes here, let me repeat this so it sinks in. A retired CIA analyst just went on the news and said the President of the United States tried to use nuclear codes on Iran yesterday. Only one general stopped him, not Congress, not the cabinet, not international law. One man, one uniform, one no. We were seconds from nuclear war, and nobody tells us. Well, I don't know if we were seconds from nuclear war, but certainly it's something we should all be told about. Something extremely bad is happening, and Tehran knows it. Here is one person's telling of those events.
And then there was a report out that they had an emergency meeting Saturday night. And apparently, well, one report coming out of that meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no. He invoked his privilege as the head of the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow up. There are pictures of Kane coming out of that meeting with his head down to the ground. So, you know, there's some very, very bizarre things going on in D.C.
This, I mean, you let me know. This sounds 100% believable, true. Yes, this just sounds right to me. This sounds right to me.
It sounds like something Nero would do. Let's read this, Revelation 18 and 16. We'll start at 15. It says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her, and that her is Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, okay, shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, alas, what city is like unto this great city? And that's talking about the United States of America. All these people that ship their goods to America, they're going to see America get blown up. All right. The smoke of her burning from those nuclear bombs getting used. All right.
It's terrible this is happening, but this sounds like it actually did happen for sure. On that note, that's why I think it's really interesting to me that we have someone like Tucker Carlson apologizing about helping getting Donald Trump elected. Like,
looking back, because
yeah, these people, the MAGA regrets. They're not with Donald Trump anymore. Okay, they regret putting this guy in the White House. Slack you, y'all. They regret putting this guy in the White House because now he promised, he was on the campaign trail promising a great making America great again, and now he's put America in a compromised position. Talking about we're already in a war, talking about using nukes. You're not in just any war. You're in a war with Iran. You're at a war with somebody that knows how to fight. Okay, and now you're already talking about using nukes. The gas prices are going skyrocketing. People are, they're not making enough money. People are losing their jobs. AI is coming in everywhere. There's these data centers going up in these poor communities. Listen, these people are pissed off because Donald Trump is in the office and he's fucking everything up. But he's doing the Lord's work. Like I said earlier, he's doing the Lord's work. That's the cruel Lord in Isaiah 19 and 4.
I mean, you and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now.
Yes.
So I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say. But anyway, the question does present itself immediately. Like, what is this? Was this always the plan? You don't want to be a conspiracy nut, but like, clearly there were signs of low character. We knew that.
A little rich. Said, sorry, I don't forgive you. I don't forgive you.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you campaign for him or not. It was the will of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai that Donald Trump be in office. These men got to be in office. Certain men around the world, these leaders got to be in office in order for these prophecies to take place. And it is perfectly set up, okay, for the kingdom of heaven to be brought in. All right. So with that, I'll close it right there. Hopefully this was edifying. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakah Kwadash. Shalom.